Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Susan Kane with the Corporate Learning Institute, and I have created the new DISC Professional Style Profile that I want to introduce you to. And I'd also like to spend some time having you understand your DISC results. So the DISC Professional Style Profile is a cost-effective DISC assessment that has just hit the market. It helps people move from judging themselves and others towards increased interpersonal understanding, appreciation, and collaboration, both easily and affordably. Take a look at the graphic to the right, and you will see that there are four main dominant styles where we talk about your DISC Professional Style Profile. Dominant, direct and confident, influential, persuasive and friendly, steady, calm and consistent, and conscientious, precise and detailed. Each style represents your preferences, not your real ability, and your preferences bring both strengths as well as challenges that can help or hinder workplace projects. And once you're really aware of your preferences, you can flex your style to accommodate any situation at work. So let's take a look at the four main DISC style preferences. On the right, you'll see a circle, and at the top of the circle, you will see individuals that prefer a fast-paced environment and are more extroverted. Those two individuals are the D dominant and I influential profiles. At the bottom of the circle, you'll see people that are preferring a slower paced environment and are more introverted, and that is the C conscientious style and the S steady style. On the left-hand side of the circle, you'll see individuals that are more task focused and more pessimistic, and those are the D and C profiles. And on the right of the circle, you'll see people that are more people focused and more optimistic, and those are the I and the S profiles. And let's take a look just to kind of deepen your understanding about how people are energized as they go through the life of a project at work. Let's take a project from start to end, and let's take a look at that D dominant person. They are very high energy as projects start, and their energy decreases over time. And if they're lucky, they'll be joined by an I influential person, and that I influential person is energized by helping others and is focused on collaborating and assisting. And if they're lucky, they'll be joined as the project progresses by an S or steady person who's energized to join in once clear information is given and expectations are established. And finally, at the end of the project, you have the C conscientious individual who's energized by opportunities to improve the project as it progresses. You can't improve something that hasn't begun. So they wait till the end to get involved to assess and evaluate. Each style has its strength, and as you can see, overuse becomes a liability or limitation. The objective is, with the DISC, to help people move from where they are in terms of self-awareness to increased awareness so that you can leverage each profile. A D is great at urgency and starting, and I is great at collaborating and setting an environment for collaboration. An S is great at dirting up and exposing where information voids are present, and a C is wonderful at elevating quality in any given project. Let's take this to a case study. Let's talk about a Zoom meeting, and let's see what happens with different profiles in the Zoom meeting you've been attending, Zoom meetings you've been attending this week. Imagine that you have four people on your screen, and amazingly, each one represents a different profile. The D dominant individual will have strong energy at the start of the meeting, but they'll begin to multitask as the meeting continues. So the tip for you as you are managing the meeting is to engage them with questions and comments, to keep them engaged and to keep that brisk meeting pace up. The I influential person on your screen will be engaging and talkative and friendly, and they'll ask you about yourself, and they'll interject humor throughout the meeting. And the tip for you as a meeting manager is to focus the eyes back on the task that is being done or that is being addressed during the course of your meeting, and then ask for feedback so that they're clear on the task-focused steps needing to be taken. Your S on the screen is going to be quiet and engaged, poker faced. They'll ask detailed questions if you prompt them, and they'll follow the meeting as it continues and will not multitask. Your tip here is to ask your S's whether they have questions throughout the meeting. And finally, the C conscientious individual on your screen will be quiet and reserved and professional, and their comments will be critical and analytic. They will seek to elevate the standards of the project and search for better solutions. Your tip as a meeting manager is to tap them both for feedback and insights, but also ask them to stay open to alternative collaborative potential and alternative ideas. Let's talk about your own DISC results, and let's take a look at your own report. You will have a full color report booklet, and within the context of that booklet, you will have overview explanation in the first couple pages about the DISC profile. And following that, you will have what we call a DISC professional style graph or score table, and you will have 3 areas of potential score values: high score, mid-range score, and low score. And what I'd like you to do is take a look at the graphic on the right and notice that across that final score table is a little shaded white area. And that is the demarcation zone between low scores and high scores. And the higher you score on that graph, the more you prefer that profile. And the lower you score on the table, the lower you prefer that particular profile, to the point where you almost have a blind spot there, where on this particular example, there is very little C or conscientious style available. And then you'll have a personalized DISC professional style summary page. Some of you will have only one profile above the mid-range score area, and some of you will have a primary and a highest score and a backup to the highest score, so that you will have 2 DISC professional style profiles to factor into understanding yourself as you look at your profile results. When you have more than one profile and you have that backup style, it really does give you more flexibility and allows you to focus on more than one priority at a time. If you have just one primary style, there's no problem with that, because once you're aware that that is your preference, that's a strong preference for you, you can then begin to do what we call style flex. And within a given situation, look at how you need to change in order to accommodate a given situation at work. You will also receive within your report a pattern, and you will need to go and find the pattern that is most like your own profile and read about yourself. I would like you to place a check mark next to things you agree with on that pattern profile and an X next to things you don't. In addition, there'll be pages that will help you understand how to improve your impact on other profiles, and reading areas where you can find suggestions for improving your particular impact. And finally, you will have a personal action plan page that will help you really look at some of the things you can do to start, stop, and continue to make the impact you intend to make and want to make at work, as well as next step opportunities to grow and develop yourself as a professional. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed this short presentation and that you consider using the DISC professional style profile in your own practice.